God is awakening the land, that every believer can hear from God, that every believer can be moved by His power, that every believer can have their roar, that every believer can have the boldness to stand against the wave of what is trying to hit this land. I was in Dallas at a prophetic conference, and the Lord began to visit me. He said there was a certain minister who was in town who wasn't at this conference. And so I Googled it. In 20 minutes, there was an end of the conference of the last session. And so I drove across town as fast as I could, got there, and as soon as I entered to this conference room, the Spirit of the Lord engaged me into this vision. As I sat there, I saw a sleeping giant. I saw this vast army full of resources and full of power, just sitting there waiting to be mobilized. And the Lord then brought me back to how America was in neutrality while there was a war going on across the seas. And immediately the Lord showed me how Japan bombed America, and it was seen as an enemy, but really it was a hidden blessing, because that enemy woke up a sleeping giant that became to be the great America that we know of today. In the same aspect, God is awakening the land, that every believer right now is being mobilized by the Spirit of God, that right now there is a great awakening beginning to move upon believers that would open their eyes to see visions, that would open their ears to hear from the Spirit of God, that would give them power to lay hands on the sick, that give them power to cast out demons, that would give them boldness to say things that we need to say and to walk out this great commission that He's given to us. There are 644 million Spirit-filled believers on this world. We have the largest army in history waiting to be mobilized, the largest army in the world that is just waiting for you and me to begin to march again, to hear from God, to move in His power, to have the authority, and to have the boldness and love that He portrayed to go and change this world. I believe that in 2022, as we begin to surrender our fears, as we begin to surrender the things that have gotten in the way of us following Jesus everywhere we go, the power of God will begin to equip you, come upon you, and visit you like we've never seen before. I want you to join me in this great awakening where you could surrender your heart and you could be one of the biggest armies in the world that is about to march again. Will you join me in this awakening?